welcome to Southview here in Cheshire for the 2013 Charles Stanley British Masters. There's over £100,000 worth of prize money here and over £10,000 goes to the Grand Prix winner.
Yes, we've got a lot to look forward to. The Charles Stanley Grand Prix, a jump-off class, 25% or all the clear rounds going forward to a jump-off. The best of the clears will go last, so it'll be all to play for in round one as well, with that big prize pot indeed. We've got a host of nations taking part. We've got a lot to look forward to.
The sun is shining and we've got a great crowd and some fantastic riders here. It really is a who's who of international show jumping.
Just keeps getting better every year, doesn't it? I mean, this year I got luck with the weather. I mean, it's a beautiful day yesterday and the day before, and great competitions.
Now, you, of course, are going to be looking at many of the British combinations competing. British riders have been flying in the last few weeks.
We've had some nice results. I mean, obviously we had Nick in Aachen winning the Grand Prix, Scott yesterday winning, second actually. I wanted him to win, but he was second in the end in Estoril. Will Funnell's going great, and yeah, we've got quite a few good results at the moment.
Now, last year we were talking about Olympic Games. This year, of course, you're looking ahead to European Championships in Denmark. Yeah,
Europeans this year. It's a stepping stone towards the World Games next year. World Games is really important because of qualification for the Olympic Games. Europeans doesn't have any qualification, but of course it's a championship. We haven't decided a team, but there will be maybe a surprise or two, because we are looking further ahead than just the Europeans. We're looking, as I say, World Games, and we're preparing for Rio.
Well, as we can see behind us, the riders warming up and watching on for the early rounds of this Charles Stanley British Masters class. A great field we've got for the competition here. And as we look in the early part, Tim Page, Quentin Tarantino with every chance. Jessie Dre and Touchable been going so well this year. Sammy Jo Coffin has really started well in the International Stairway Series, winning down at Devon. International flavour with Swedish rider Angeli von Essen. Local but two-time Olympian Jeff Billington in there with Cruise Control the third. Guy Williams with Titus also went very well in Germany. Peter Charles, the Olympic gold medalist, Mercus Odi de Frevent. Billy Twomey, another international combination based not too far. Billy Twomey with Diaghilev for Ireland. Stephen Whittaker also with Follow Me, the second, wins in Austria this year. And then the latter part of the draw, very strong indeed. Harriet NUTTALL, a touch imperious. Joe CLAYTON, the former winner with Ayer Toro. And the Hickster Derby winner, Philip Miller with Kuriti RZ. A very strong finish to this competition. It's going to be all to play for. Joe CLAYTON's finished as part of the top few on several occasions now, and he's down with Natalie.
Yes, thanks, Steve. I'm here with Joe on the course at the moment. Joe, you came second 2 years ago and you won this class last year. You're an expert here.
Yeah, it seems to be quite a lucky place for me, so hopefully I can be lucky again today.
Do the same this year.
Yeah.
Now, we're on the course at the moment. They've just built it, and you're going to talk us through a difficult section.
This combination, it's two very delicate verticals going in, and then a big octave coming out. As you can see from here as well, it's quite a bit of an optical illusion, so they have to really be concentrating to jump this jump. It all kind of moulds into one. So
and then you pace this, won't you?
Yeah, we'll just walk this now and see what kind of distance it is, see if we need to be a bit off, or to see what distance we can get. So 1, 2, that should be where they land, ideally, and then 1, 2, 3, 1. That should be one stride they take. 1, 2, 3, 1, and it should take off from here, which is a little bit short. So you sit up in the middle there, give them a little bit more room, so you would take off maybe here, and give them enough time to jump it in front, and then we'll see how it walks coming out. So like I say, they need to be obedient. So when you sit up, they react in the short and give themselves enough time to jump coming out. So that's 2 there. You should land there. 1 stride, a little bit far off there, so you're going to need a little bit of squeeze, so we're taking off about here, so they make the back bar as well, so they need to be reactive from your leg. The more experienced horses should cope with it quite well, but I can see a few of the inexperienced horses getting a couple of faults here, so hopefully I won't be one of them.
Well, Harriet's with me down here in the early part of the course, and Harriet, it's a really tough start to this course.
Yeah, it is. And you're coming from the centre, fence 1 towards the crowd, and then you'll have to swing out so they're used to the crowd and come over fence 2. And actually, we've got quite a sharp turn to the left after fence 2, which is number 3, which you can just see in the distance, the Charles Stanley fence.
Now, you're going to go over this big parallel here, quite a big spread on this one, as you say, going right into that corner, so quite hard to get your horses really.
Yeah, you've got to make sure this is quite wide, so you've got to make sure you jump it straight and you stay straight for about 2 strides before, and you make sure you're looking for that fence number 3 as early as you can, because they need to know that they've got something as quick as that coming up.
Okay, well, let's go and have a look at that turn through there. So, tight into the corner as you can.
Tight into the corner, and then you've got to jump number 3 quite straight, and again, you've got a very sharp corner to your left of fence number 4, which is a water tray, which will come up very quick as well. So you've got 2, 3 and 4 will be very quick at the start of this competition.
Wise words from both Joe Clayton and Harriet NUTTALL there for this, the Charles Stanley British Masters, £10,000 to the winner. And here is one of your young riders now going on very much, Corin Bracken, to the international superstar, Tim Page, Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, Tim's a very accomplished rider now. He's jumped Junior Nations Cups, Young Rider Nations Cups and Senior Nations Cups. Great team member. And you can see Tim just tackling the first part of this course that Harriet talked about. Oh, she was absolutely right. 2, 3 and 4 come really quickly at you. And Tim's horse just didn't quite regain its balance around that corner.
What's interesting about Tim, he's come through the young rider ranks, but he's now got some very, very good senior horses, hasn't he? He's got a really strong team.
Yes, he has, and he's developed that team himself. Tim's a great one for sort of buying a younger horse and bringing it on a little bit himself. Although this horse had done a little when he got it, it really has improved as it's got older, this horse.
That's 2 down. That's exactly what Joe Clayton was talking about. That's a tricky distance right in the middle, and they've got to be absolutely inch perfect coming into that combination.
Yeah, and Joe described it as 2 delicate verticals, and you can see Quentin Tarantino there barely touched that pole and it hit the floor. He jumped that double very well there next to the crowd.
It's an unlucky 8 faults, but these days modern show jumping, such light cups, such light material, and down it goes, 77.65 for Tim Page. But let's have a look here, Corin, coming in.
You can see this horse here just slightly shaved the corner. That left turn there, you needed to be very square, and he just shaved the corner.
And now Jessie Dray. Jessie with Touchable, another brilliant young rider, and another lady who is destined for international stardom.
Oh, absolutely, and already has done.
And already has done.
Jessie's already represented the country on a Senior Nations Cup team, but it's very exciting watching Jessie at this show. This will be her last show before she leaves for the Young Rider European Championships.
When is that, what, 10 days' time now?
Yeah, about 10 days' time. So this will be Jessie's last round. She'll be preparing her horse, using this course to prepare it for the championship. And I really, really think this year Jessie's got a chance of an individual medal. She's an outstanding talent, and she gets a wonderful tune out of this horse. They just love each other.
Another combination.
She rode that beautifully, her body balance jumping into the 2 verticals. And you've really got to jump that combination as a double of verticals and then think about your oxer. Very good there.
This is good. Oof.
Come on, Jess, just a little balance there. Just an early balance. Oh, Jessie.
You could see that coming.
Yeah, very much so. I think when Jess looks back at that, she'll have wanted another stride down there. Absolutely. Oh, well, Jessie, maybe that's a mistake got out of the way this week, and we won't do that next week.
No, we won't. So here are some highlights. Here's George Whittaker. Oh! What went wrong there? It's a packed crowd here today, Corin, it really is. Elise Oken, the very first clear with Belmont for the United States of America. Truly international field here. And now Joe McClory, local lady from just down the road in Merseyside. Oh! Out the front door, all okay, but sadly elimination.
Frozen spills from beginning to end. Joanne McGlory and Camilio parting off the
All
way
okay.
for them over there. By the first
It's very
half of the triple
unusual, actually.
combination.
He's very consistent with her normally.
Now Sammy Jo Coffin, the Cornish superstar with her own Willem Deluxe. She's had a very, very good national season so far. Went so well at the Devon County, Royal Bath and West and Royal Cornwall.
Sammy's unbelievably competitive. If she gets into this jump off, the rest of them had better watch out.
They certainly had. She is so electric against the clock. And this little superstar, Willem Deluxe, is another of the horses that Sammy Jo has produced from the word go.
He's what we call a real trier.
Yeah.
He's a little bit unorthodox sometimes when he comes around the corner, and you can see Sammy working really hard to keep this horse out on the lines around the corners. When they fall in, that's when you're likely to have a fence, because your horse gets there a little bit crooked. So the rideability between the fences is so important, and Sammy's really mastered with this horse, keeping him on those outside lines to give her a little bit more room. That's a good round so far. She's working hard though. You can, like there, can you see her just trying to hold the horse out on the turn?
Come on, Sammy Jo. She really is such a great ambassador for Cornish jumping, Cornish show jumping. Sammy Jo gives us the second of the clears.
That was super then. You could see Sammy come out of that double and just make her horse wait for 2 strides so she could get those 5 strides down there. Sammy, that was a super round.
So 1 for Great Britain, 1 for the United States of America at the moment in the Charles Stanley British Masters here at Southview. Packed crowd, beautiful summer's day. And join us for more from Southview after the break. Welcome back to the Charles Stanley British Masters 2013. It's a truly international field, and those are the best standing so far. Sammy Jo Coffin, the lady from Cornwall, who is the fastest of the clears, and then Elise Oken from the United States with her clears, and then the 4 falters. Remember, we're taking the top 25%, so 12 will go through to the jump off against the clock. Now it's the Swedish lady Angeli von Essen, based up in Cheshire, with Katinka.
Very stylish rider.
She
Very
is.
stylish rider. Her horses work beautifully for her. They're very well schooled. They're very orthodox the way they work round the course.
She's represented Sweden on teams, but now very much part of the British show jumping scene.
You can see how comfortable this horse is jumping this course. It's in a really good rhythm. She gave him a little bit more room to the water there than some of them, and of course in these Grand Prix competitions we've always got to be aware of the time allowed as well, Nick. That's a major factor in modern day show jumping.
Yes, the time allowed, 80 seconds. They go over that time allowed, it's 1 time penalty for every commence 4 seconds, and that can mean the difference between winning £10,000 and nothing.
Oh dear. Angeli just shaved that line a little bit. She didn't end up in the middle of that fence, and that's where at this level you've got to be so accurate. You can't come up an inside line on a distance.
Well, will 4 faults be good enough, because the top scores going through to the second round against the clock.
Can you see how much to the right of that fence she is? You could even see her tuck her toes in case she knocked it.
And she probably knew she was close to that time allowed of 80 seconds, so that's why she got the time fault as well, so that could be costly. Now David McPHERSON with Diana Bartolini's Perfect Rouge. And this man, well, he has so much experience of show jumping, he really does. Team bronze medalist, of course, for Great Britain in Mannheim.
But not only that, where David's so brilliant, he's prepared to share that knowledge with the youth of today as well. So, you know, quite a few riders will go to David, spend some time with him. He works with them, he'll ride their horses and show them how they should be going. I mean, the man is just the ultimate professional when it comes to the way the horse goes and the way the horse jumps.
Yes, he is.
David just settling his horse for this combination.
It's good through there.
But look at the balance of the rider, Nick, and again, where the material is so light, the balance of the rider these days is so important. And David's so imbalanced with his upper body, his lower leg is not moving. It's
3
very
fences
important.
from home, yes. One to go. Lovely round, David. Now, what's the time?
Yep, he's inside that time allowed.
79.5. So what does he go? He goes third to go at the moment in the jump-off, with a long way to go, has to be said, in the Charles Stanley British Masters, but the fastest clear going last in the second round against the clock. Great round, David McPHERSON. So, packed crowd here at the Charles Stanley British Masters. What is this now, Corin? The third time it's been here at Southview, and it's wonderful to see top-class international show jumping up here. The double Olympian, Geoffrey Billington, and cruise control. And he lives literally just down the road.
He certainly does. He could probably hack to this show, Graham, truthfully. This is a fabulous horse. This is a horse that was produced by Gemma Hartley. Jeff hasn't actually had the horse very long, but he always showed fantastic jump. He was part of the world-class equine pathway for a while, and Gemma used to bring him training, and he always found the exercises so easy. But I have to say, Jeff is getting a fantastic tune out of him. Yeah, he's quite feisty as a horse. He'll take you on, but that's very good, Jeff. He looks very, very good with you. Now this delicate verticals going in.
The ox are coming out.
Jeff was really clever there. He let him drift a little bit in the middle of there to give himself a little bit more room.
Ooh, you could see that.
That's a difficult line. They've got to get straight, but it's on a curve, so it's difficult for them to get straight.
Can't afford another, that's a certainty. Now he has to wait and see whether he makes it through to the top. 75.35, that's a very good time. And he certainly pushed on round the round, so the slow four falters can come through to the second round. Oh, look at that. And Natalie is with one of the clears, David McPHERSON.
Seems to be quite challenging course.
Yeah, it's really tough. This is a producing show to me. This horse a year ago, I could barely get him around the 135s. Delighted with his progress. Very, very pleased with him.
And how's the ground out there?
Actually, these guys have done an amazing job. It was a little loose the first two. They put a lot of water down. Fantastic, full marks to them. Great, great job.
I've caught up with Guy Williams. Guy, your horse today, bronze medal at the European Championships before now and went very well in Germany.
Yeah, he went good in Aachen, and obviously going to give him a jump here in a smaller ring, maybe just get him a bit on the back foot after jumping around in big jumps, and then hopefully go on from there.
So many different arenas, Aachen, Hickstead, those huge big grass arenas, and then jumping on surfaces like this, all different types that test out different types of horses. How does yours fit into this model?
This doesn't suit my horse at all, but I think he's been going in them big grass rings, and I just bought him really to maybe drop him down a level and just give him an easier time, hopefully. And it won't suit him, obviously, because he likes big rings, but I mean, you have to work a little bit harder.
Well, good luck to Guy Williams. We're going to go back to the commentary team and join Nick Brooks-Ward.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, Guy Williams talking about his championship horse, TITUS. Went really well in Aachen, jumped a super clear there. Now Louise Whitaker on USA Today. Mandy Hall and Claire Whitaker's USA Today. And this horse normally ridden by Robert, or by John, and now by Louise.
Yeah, they sort of become family horses, don't they? It depends who's at home that weekend, really, to jump them. This horse is just coming back to top level now. He was a junior European horse for us. Robert had him at top level. Louise is now just bringing him back up to get him to that level, having had a short break.
Not the easiest as rides, as we've just seen there, Corin.
No, he isn't. I mean, he's a former ride of Graham Gillespie's, and Graham had him when he was very young, when he was 15, and sort of really just ignored that bucking and leaping, but it does get him into trouble sometimes like that.
Louise, a former national champion.
Oh, it won't faze Louise.
It certainly won't.
You see him a little bit cheeky there, swinging his bum around. And again, that can lose you your stride, lose you a little bit of distance. And every time he has that little buck, he's wasting time.
Yes, and the time 80 seconds. That little buck, ooh, Louise. That little buck of USA Today cost Robert Whittaker £15,000 at the British Open, what, 4 years ago?
Yeah,
just
it did.
kicked the last fence up. Now Louise, she's clear. As she looks back at the clock, what's the time? 81.04. That one time penalty, so that could be very costly for Louise. She'll carry that through, won't she?
Yeah, she'd be very disappointed with that. It was a good jumping
Now
round.
Guy Williams with Titus, the European Championship horse. Ah. Well,
Well, he did say it wasn't his sort of course, but I don't think he quite meant that, Nick.
no, I don't.
In fact, what Guy meant by that is he's just come back from Aachen. Aachen is an enormous grass ring with great big jumps in the middle of it.
Same size as Hickstead.
Yes.
Absolutely vast.
It's huge. And this horse is an incredibly bold horse that likes to really get in a big canter rhythm and move forward. Now, in these smaller all-weather arenas, these horses really try to jump forward, but they're always at the end of the arena. And it does get them going sometimes just a little bit hollow, and that can cause them to have a fence.
Well, he hasn't had a fence yet, but he's had that refusal and the time faults that will undoubtedly come because he had to take the circle and come back.
I can honestly say I have never seen one of
No,
Guy's
I haven't.
horses do that.
No, I really haven't.
And Guy now, obviously, with
Definitely
that,
not.
No.
So
So unfortunately, 2 refusals on course.
out they go for Guy Williams and Titus.
Sadly eliminated, part of our British winning Nations Cup team at St Gallen on the League One European division of the
Well,
Fury
you won't see that very often, that's for sure, but clearly this horse just doesn't have his mind on this course today.
So now the Olympic gold medalist, the great punch in the air that secured the gold for Great Britain in Greenwich last year. Peter Charles, Merca's Eau de Provence. The horse that he rode into, third place at the World Cup, then had a really good break all the way through till May, and now is very much in the business. Went really well at Hickstead, won a good class there.
It's a super little horse, it loves its job.
It was a dealer's horse. Peter just got it into his yard and he thought, well, I'll give it a go. It came over from France and he thought, hello, this has got some jump in it.
So Peter at the moment is trying to manage his time between his own show jumping career and
Harry.
that of his children.
Well, Harry had a tremendous week last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and Harry's been selected for the Children on Horses European team.
Yep.
So in 2 weeks' time, Peter will be out in training mode. This is a very good round from this horse. He's got a super rhythm going.
Go on, Pete. Well done, Peter. He won't be having time faults.
And you can see Peter's line to the water was where he saved a little bit of time. If they can turn it a little tighter to the water, it's got poles above it. It's not a difficult fence to jump.
Not phased. There are the clears. 6 clears, and the one that's really hanging on by their fingertips is Richard Davenport, Daedalus van TNL. So, more from the Charles Stanley British Masters after the break. Welcome back. Really at the business end now. There are the riders, Joe Clayton having a look, because we're getting towards the latter stages of the first round of the Charles Stanley British Masters. £31,000 on offer, 10,000 or just over £10,000 to the winner. Now it is William Whittaker, Fandango.
And this again is a horse that Williams worked very hard to get to settle in these smaller rings. He really is a big ring horse. You can see Williams sitting up. Now that was interesting, his line to that fence, he was so tight round that wing. So clearly, because William can't really get this horse going too forward, he's having to cut a little bit of time off wherever he can. Be interesting to see how tight he comes to this water.
Very wise head on young shoulders, this man.
Yes, I think Williams 23 going on 53. Now he needs to settle in for this combination. This would be a difficult fence. You see Williams' body position there, Nick, really sat tall at the double of verticals. Any of you younger riders out there watching will look at his body position when he comes to these tall upright jumps.
3 to go. Now the last.
Oh, William.
Ooh. Gets it.
Now, I can hear somebody whistling in the background. Yeah.
Yes. It's another one. 2 Whittakers, both with 1 time penalty. The cousins will go through to the second round. Louise's time 81.04 and Williams' time 81.34. So 2-on-1 time penalty.
Peter, you're the course designer this weekend. Talk us about this Grand Prix course.
Well, the Grand Prix is a world qualifier for ranking points, and so it can go to 155, which is quite stiff, and we have a variable field here of a lot of new grade A's and some world-class ones, you know, so I try to accommodate for both, but at the same time keeping the standard way up.
So talk us through Harriet NUTTALL's course, please.
Well, Harriet's gone right to the top of the league in this country on a national basis on this horse. It's a very big horse and it's a very big striding horse, and so I think she has to have a lot of control of this horse in this class. It's very, very big, and I've watched it a few times, and it's got an enormous jump, but it has to be kept really disciplined all the way through. And I think, you know, while I've got an open fences like I have here, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, when she starts to get from fence 6 on, I think where she sees the tracks are more related, then she will have to have her steering in the right place.
So she's coming around quite steady in these first few fences.
Now, 6 to 7 are 2 big oxers, and 6 to 7 is 7 strides, and so it gives her enough time to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I think she took a stride out there. This is such a massive stride. Then she has this little water jump, which is only really put in front of the combination really to set them up going forward. Now this could be quite difficult, but she could be very good to control it if she does. Well, that was very good for her there because it's a long striding animal and it's quite short distances in there, so she really had to sit up and control it. Now we'll see what she does to the triple bar to the vertical, which is 4 long ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, she coped 4 long ones, which her horse would cope with easy because it is a very long striding horse. Now she needs the 1 stride here and a level 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, that was a super round for a horse that doesn't usually jump at this massive level.
Absolutely, 1 perfect round there for Harriet. Thank you very much.
So, the lady from Shepton Mallet goes clear. Harriet NUTTALL and a touch imperious. Rupert's a touch imperious. So that's another clear. So that really is putting pressure on those 2-on-1 time penalty. Now Joe Clayton, 2 years ago, was second, last year won it, and a new ride for Joe, Corin.
Yes, it is. Of course, Joe, stable jockey for Michael Whittaker. So when you're a stable jockey for Michael Whittaker, you're getting told you're going to the Charles Stanley British Masters, and then you see what Michael hasn't taken to the show, and off you go.
And off you go. And I think that's gone. So I don't think he's going to make it into the top 12. I don't think he's going to retain his crown.
Joe would be disappointed with an early fence on this course. Horse just swung out a little bit there, but Joe just caught him with the outside leg and the outside rein, which is exactly what he needed to do.
Toe in the water, but that won't count because only the poles are faultable.
Oh. And Joe sort of knew that might happen by his description of his course walk. He jumped the first 2 bits, the double of verticals, very well, but landed a little steep, so didn't quite get the distance to the oxer.
The man who's retained the famous Matty Brown on 3 occasions, and that last has gone as well. So 12 it is, Joe Clayton. And
Ayatoro won't be defending their Charles Stanley British Masters Grand Prix title here at Southview for 2030.
Bit of a splash, but as you said, Nick, it doesn't count because there's 2 poles above the water.
What a month of June this man has had. The British Jumping Derby at Hickstead, the British Showjumping Partnership International Stayaway at Norfolk, riding Nigel Eccles and Diane Penny Cornish's Cariti RZ. Philip Miller, the man from Hertfordshire, so richly deserved that coronet. Really, really was. Such a popular man on the national and the international showjumping scene now.
Yes, Philip's represented his country this time for the first time at Nations Cup level, but this is a rider who is so well respected by the professionals in the sport. He's produced horses to top level for many owners.
Let's go through the list. Marius Claudius for Robert Smith, Tinker's Serenade, Châtain Flamenco for Billy Twomey, who's coming up later. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, he's a very, very talented rider, and it was wonderful to see him get that level of recognition and that success in the Derby.
And he's riding pretty well now.
Yes, I think he won the Derby on the Sunday, and about 4 days later won one of the international stairways as well. He is absolutely on fire.
At Norfolk. And it's amazing what a bit of confidence can do to the rider and the horse. 2 to go now. Oh, lucky Philip. Well done, Philip.
Yeah, well,
so that's clear.
Once
Brilliant
again,
clear.
he's produced this horse himself, so they really have a good partnership. They know each other very, very well.
From the Greenacres Yard in Harpenden in Hertfordshire, so Philip Miller definitely joins the party. So that decides the jump off here at the Charles Stanley British Masters. And Philip looks to be the fastest of the clear, so he'll be going last in the jump off. And Louise Whitaker, with just that one time penalty, which she will carry through to the second round, will be the first to go. So 3 nations represented: Ireland, the United States and Great Britain. 3 for Ireland, 1 for the United States, based with Nick Skelton in Warwickshire. Philip Miller, the last to go in the jump off.
A number of riders there on tenterhooks, waiting to see whether they made that second round. Jesse Dre, so very close there. Another man only just being pipped there, Jeff Billington. Interesting first round.
Yeah, I was very, very pleased with my horse. I'd normally jump uppercut in this, and he just hasn't felt himself the last couple of days, so I thought I'd give Cruz a chance, and I was relatively pleased. I was as pleased as you can be without jumping a clear.
Well, Jeff, those clears in there, 11 of those in the one time fault. Thoughts on the clears that you've seen?
Unfortunately, I swing towards the Irish. I think Billy Twomey and Anthony Condon are on top form. They've both won a day each, and they're really on fire, those two.
And how about the British riders we've seen in there? Harriet NUTTALL produced a very good round. Philip Miller, another quick one, and he's on flying form at the moment.
He's on flying form. Harriet's been knocking on the door for 3 or 4 weeks now. They won't give up easily, but unfortunately I'm going to pick one of the Irish.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff. Let's rejoin our commentary team with Nick Brooks-Ward.
Thanks a lot, Steve. It's going to be action-packed because it's fasten your safety belt for the jump-off of the Charles Stanley British Masters here at Southview. Lovely summer's day, packed crowd, and they've enjoyed some truly international show jumping. Now the first to go, carrying one time fault from the first round, Louise Whitaker and USA Today. Now what does she do here, Corin? Does she try and go clear and risk the fall, or does she just get a steady clear?
No, she needs to have a tight, clear round. She definitely needs to be clear, because then if she jumps clear, she's carrying one fault. That means everyone that has a fence down in the jump-off goes below her. But she can't hang around either. She doesn't want to be too slow, and she certainly doesn't want to be picking up a time fault in the jump-off. This is a very good round from Louise. She's timed this beautifully.
Good round, good way to start. 37.15.
37.15 on the clock.
So Louise, the riders coming behind her have got some difficult choices.
Yeah, I think they'll be a lot faster than Louise, that's for sure, but they've got to leave the jumps up now.
Perfect Rouge and David McPherson, and that's gone, so he drops below Louise.
Good tight turn back there to the vertical. But as David said, this is a producing show for him. When riders come to these shows, sometimes they're out to win, and sometimes they're out to educate their horse, and because they know they're going to take it to the next level. Yeah, very good time though. Look at that time.
30.15. A lot quicker than Louise Whitaker, but that 4 faults could be costly. Is costly.
And you can actually see David saying, yeah, wait for me, you're going a little bit quick there. And he was absolutely right, just ended up a little close.
2 gone of the 12, 10 left to go. Join us for the second part of the jump off for the Charles Stanley British Masters. Welcome back to the jump off of the Charles Stanley British Masters, and those are the two that have gone. Louise finishing on the one-time penalty from the first round, 37.15, but look at the difference in times. David McPHERSON, 7 seconds exactly quicker, but 1 fence down. 10 left to go. Now Harriet NUTTALL with Father Rupert's a touch imperious. Massive horse this, very long striding, deceptive across the ground.
Yes, he'll look slow, but he isn't slow because he has got such a big stride. But what Harriet can't do with this horse is spin him and turn him. He's just too big. Yeah, you can see Harriet there looking for her next fence, so she gets that inside turn. It's very good there. She's nice and tight back here, though.
Time is very good.
Yeah. Come on, Harriet.
Slower time than David McPHERSON, but the fences stay up. 33.68. So that's the first of the double clears in the Charles Stanley British Masters. Well done, Harriet.
She'll be absolutely delighted.
Yes, she
with that.
will.
This is her first year out of Young Riders. She's really competitive now.
Simon Crippen, ONDINE de LOGIS. Julie Ross's ONDINE de LOGIS.
And Simon will be a bit quicker, I would think, than Harriet.
Yes, he will be.
See that turn there.
Now let's take a check here, Corin. 21 landing. And he's well up. He is absolutely steaming. Brilliant round. 32.57. But we know that that time could be beaten because David McPHERSON was home in 30.15. But he's booked another double clear. He goes to the top of the tree. Well,
really depends how tight you can turn. I mean, that's what this is going to be about.
This is going to be fast. There's no doubt about that. Peter Charles, MBE. There's a gold post box in Alton in Hampshire.
And again, that tight turn back here. And how tight can you now turn back to that last double there?
Look at that. 3 seconds quicker.
Oh, he's kicking.
Oh, Pete. It's gone. The back bar of that first oxer is gone. 30.26, but he took the pedal off when he came and realised that he'd had that. Won't be Pete's day today.
And when you make a turn back to a fence, Nick, you're committed on what you've got.
Now here's the tip from Geoffrey Billington. Billy Twomey, Diaghilev. Good to see this man back in serious competition. Jumped really well in Aachen. Now Billy, 14 seconds there.
Well, Billy's come inside the flowers
17.
to the third fence in the jump off. I mean, no one's done that yet.
Oh, Billy, this is going to be some time to beat. That is pure class. 28.77. Catch me if you can. That really is a class round from a class jockey.
Yeah, horse produced by Anna Edwards, so the horse is used to going against the clock, that's for sure, and Billy did a fantastic job then.
Now Elise Oaken, Beverly Wooderson's Belmont.
That was good there. So inside the flower pot as well, exactly the same line that Billy took.
They'll be watching from the collecting ring, there's no doubt about that. The Spies will be out. Slightly slower, but a very good time.
Good turn back across that fence there, and that's
Pushes
a good
on.
shot there.
It's close. It's 29.53. She goes second. Second for Elise Oaken and Belmont. So it's Ireland, the United States, and Great Britain. That's the 1, 2, 3 at the moment.
I don't know how. I don't know where they can make up time for Billy. I mean, he was so quick on the turns as well.
Now another of the young Irish stars.
So there was the 6 strides to the second. They're pretty much committed on those 6 strides there. Back to this fence here.
Michael Whitaker's stable jockey alongside Joe Clayton, Richard James Howley.
And a very fast rider.
Oh, it's close. Billy Toomey's time, 28.77. 25.26 on the clock. How close is it? Just outside. Goes second.
And he knew that. Do you see what he did to the last? He took a stride out. Everyone else has gone 5 strides. Richard's like landed from the double and I've got to go. I've got to get there on 4 if I'm going to try and beat him.
So one former pupil of Michael Whitaker leads, Billy Toomey, and the current pupil is in second. Not bad trainer, is he? Nah, Louise Saywell. Oh, early fence. That'll drop her right down.
What a fantastic season Louise has had as well, representing on her Senior Nations Cup debuts this year. That's a very unusual fence for this horse to have. And again, she opted for the 5 strides. She's had a fence down. There's no point risking the 4 down there.
There isn't. Brilliant young horse, this. Another of the horses that Louise has produced, and it is a winner. There's no doubt about that, Corin, but not today. So, Ireland again. Anthony Condon, who is stable jockey to Billy Toomey. That's a brilliant turn, Corin. He can't have got away with it.
I think the stable jockey's trying to beat the master here. Oh.
Yeah. And I don't think he needed to do that.
No, he was very, very quick.
Look at that time. 27.81. Billy's Toomey's time, 28.77. But look, he just came far too sharp.
And the horse is crooked. Can you see how bent the horse still is? And then, of course, the horse doesn't leave the ground straight. And that's where they knock fences down.
2 to go. St Austell-based Sammy Joe Coffin, Willem Deluxe. This'll be fast. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, but she's had to go round. Remember in the first round we talked about managing in between the fences? She can go fast, but she won't be able to do the tighter turns.
17-18 seconds. 28.77 to beat. Oh! She was pushing. She'll have done the time.
She's a fierce competitor. She knew having gone round to that fence, she had to come inside somewhere. And this turn here didn't quite suit this horse.
Head up in the air. Bang. 1 left to go in the Charles Stanley British Masters. Philip Miller, Cariti RZ. Just be a fairy trail, wouldn't it?
Oh.
Derby,
inside the flowers.
Stairway, British Masters.
Oh, he's quick back there.
Oh, Philip.
Oh. Very quick back to that vertical, tight back to the double. And you could see Philip, if you watch his legs kicking, because he knew he had a long way to get to the back bar.
The fastest of the 4
Look at those legs. Come on, stretch, stretch. But not enough room.
Bang. What a shame. So there is the final result of the 2013 Charles Stanley British Masters. Here's many congratulations to Billy Toomey and Diaghilev. Ireland again in second, Richard Howley and Camiro Dahar. And then the United States of America, Elise Oken and Belmont.
Billy, congratulations, winner of this Grand Prix. Immaculate double clear for you and a fantastic jump off.
Yeah, I'm delighted with my horse. I don't have him that long, but he's jumped really, really well this show. He won the big class on Friday, and he's won the Grand Prix today, so I can't ask for more.
Talk me through that last round.
Yeah, he has loads of ability, and it was lucky or easy enough for me to go on 6 strides from 1 to 2, so I saved a bit of time there. Tried to be as tight as possible around the verticals at the top end, and he was clean enough to jump the last line, which was proving to be quite difficult for the rest of the competitors. So again, I'm delighted.
Well, congratulations and thank you very much. Thank
you. Well, Philip Miller, last to go, so very close there.
Yeah, you know, you have to give it a go. It's good money, so just try my hardest.
And the horse really stepped up a gear. Of course, Hickstead Derby, you've gone on to win since then. Both you and the horse full of confidence, I'm sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, at the moment, you know, when you've got a win like that under your belt, you feel like you can ride most things. So, yeah, just keep going, really.
And Billy Toomey's time looked vulnerable?
Billy's so quick with just looking so smooth. He's just proper professional name.
Well, very well done in the last few weeks. I'm going to let you get some prize money, but well done today.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Good words from Philip. And there is the presentation ceremony. And Corin, wonderful to see Billy Twomey winning the Grand Prix here at the Charles Stanley British Masters. Delighted to welcome Venetia Malpas making the presentation to Billy Twomey. A tremendous result for this man, back after a long layoff and representing Ireland and winning. And that is what it's all about. He's an out-and-out winner. Well done to Billy Twomey.
Well, congratulations to Billy Twomey there for that fantastic jump off. Jeff Burlington did put his money on the Irish earlier on and it definitely came through. It's been such an exciting weekend, hasn't it, Steve?
As has. Absolutely fantastic combination to finish with, and 11 clears going forward, right down to the wire. Philip Miller is last to go, really trying there. Simon Crippen, the best of the British riders in there, but Billy Twomey, a world-class rider, takes this year's British Masters Championship. Great stuff.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for watching. Join us again soon for some more British show jumping.